Hey everybody, thanks for clicking on the video. David Pendleton again, here to give you, the walkthrough for the Redwood Cup tournament. This is going to be the rookie edition. And as I normally do on rookie, I'm going to give everybody a couple different ways to play some holes. So I'll show you a non-aggressive path, and then I'll show you an aggressive path. And I'm going to be super honest with you on this tournament. I believe we can play every hole very safe. There's not going to be a need to gamble on these holes because it's not going to give you really a leg up for like albatrosses and extra eagle drops. But, you can see here we had a really good round. And these shots that I'm going to show you, they're going to be very easy to follow regardless of your club level. Now, I know you're not going to have the same clubs as me. But if we take a look at landing positions, if we take a look at our shots to pins, and you take your own notes, based off your shots and my shots, you'll be able to dial these in and have the same type of round as me, which is really going to help us, win this tournament because it's a new course. I'm seeing people just get eaten up in every level that I played. So rookie and pro, I'm seeing people on the par threes especially hit sand because the greens roll fast. I'm seeing people on par fives make birdies. I've seen people even in situations where they're going to par a par five. So I'm going to show you how to play it. It's actually going to be really simple. It's going to be straightforward, and you're going to be like, man, this is way easier than I thought it was. Two things. If you can please help me out by hitting the subscribe button, that'd be freaking awesome. Thank you very much. And secondly, if you'd like to support my channel and throw me a donation, you can figure out how to do so in the comments. That would be greatly appreciated. Every dollar or two counts. These things take a long time to do. So, I'd really appreciate it. If you find this helps you dominate your bracket, please pay it forward. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop into this, these replays here. So let's start off on, of course, hole number one. So, hole number one is going to be a par four. And this one, guys, it's a really simple eagle opportunity, to be honest with you. There is two different ways you can go about playing this particular hole. We can lay up, or we can try to drive green. All right, driving green is dangerous. I'll show you how to do it. I will not be taking that path. I'm going to be taking the path I'm going to show you first right now, which is going to be very simple. And all we need to use is a navigator ball. We want the navigator because we don't need power, but we would like the wind resistance. It's a wind resistance 2 ball. That's going to help us with the second shot to pin. So as far as the drive goes, what I'm doing here is I'm using 2 backspin and full left spin, 20% elevation. And you'll see my yellow ring here is going to be up against the rough line. But if you have like an extra mile 9 or an extra mile, 6 or, 8, anything other than extra mile 7, your ring color is going to be differently. But, you're going to want to hit the same landmark every single time. So for me, it's yellow ring at the rough line with 2 back and full left. Because if I hit this shot perfect, like I just did, every single round, then my second shot to pin is going to be the exact same. It's going to be around the exact same yardage. So for example, I hit this drive 306 yards. If I put my yellow ring at the rough every single time and I use that exact same spin and I hit perfect, I'm going to be right at that yard mark or within a yard or two, which means my second shot to pin, I'm going to be able to take down good notes and know exactly how to dial it in. So for example, if I would have missed shot number 2, let's say to the left-hand side, even though I aimed directly at pin, I would know that I needed to just move my target over to, in the opposite direction. But I didn't miss shot number 2. In fact, I made this shot every single time. Here I'm just checking to see what distance I am of my club. And I like using backspin. Backspin gives me good ball control, especially with a thorn. So I'm using 2 backspin. And as you can see, we don't have 100%. I'm using 3 backspin. But as you can see, we don't have a fully developed ball guideline because this is only a thorn 6. If you have a higher thorn, you're in a better situation. I'm playing this 10% elevation, mid-distance of my club, and 3 backspin, and I'm leaving this about half a green square short of the pin because I know that when my ball touches down, I'm going to get a roll. So you see, we get a nice roll to the pin, and we drop the eagle. This is a very simple eagle hole. And then I'm going to show you this way right here. Now, if you want to gamble, all right, you can gamble. You can drive to green on this hole. I did it only one time. Well, I didn't actually make it to the green, but I took this shot one time just to show people who want to play aggressive how you can go about doing so. I recommend a Titan ball with full left spin and quite a bit of top spin. I wouldn't use a Kingmaker because a Kingmaker is going to reduce the wind, and we have a little bit of tailwind, which we want to keep. If we went with a Kingmaker, that 4.2 wind would be in the 3s, and we don't want that. So here I used almost full overpower and a little bit of left curl. Really, I just needed a tad more overpower. So if I would have went full overpower, instead of hitting right there, right in that, that murky mud area, more overpower would have hit that fairway. And then instead of bouncing here, I would have rolled up into at least the other part of the fairway or maybe even on the green. But anyways, it can be done. I don't recommend it because if you miss it like this, like I did, the eagle is going to be much harder. If you take my path, with the first way, the eagle is super, super simple. So, let's do that. Anyways, hole number 2. Now, hole number 2, I don't typically like to recommend like quarterback rough bumps and things like that in rookie because some people don't have, really developed quarterbacks. But it is going to be the best way to get a hole-in-one on this hole, and I'm super close on it right now. But what we're going to do is we're going to play this one at 20% elevation. Again, we're going to use a navigator just simply because we want the wind resistance with our club, with our ball. And let me back up here. Got a little ahead of myself. This is your spin you're looking for every time. A little bit more than 3 bars of backspin, and then full right spin with the navigator. And then I'm also going to pause it right here. Okay, so take a look at my yellow ring. Notice how my yellow ring is kind of in the middle of the rough. So for example, the top of my yellow ring isn't touching the top rough line, and the bottom of my yellow ring isn't also touching the rough line. It's right there in the middle. That is by design. If you were to have your target moving up more, okay, that would put your ball guideline to the pin. And you'll notice right now my ball guideline is short of the pin. That's very important because this green can run a little fast. So theoretically, if I were to push my target up and take the shot from a higher point, the ball may miss the rough, so you might just hit the green and bounce way past the pin and go into the sand. You need your target area to be lined up like mine is to get a smooth roll. Now from here, I am playing 20% elevation and minimum distance of my quarterback, and you'll see that I'm leaving my ball guideline short of the hole. Again, that is on purpose, and that's really what you need to do. So it's short of the hole, and we're using quite a bit of backspin. Like I said, we're using like 3.2 bars right now. And you'll see it's a smooth roll, and I come up just a little bit short. So I'll probably reduce this to like 3.1, maybe even 3 moving forward. But that's really how you want to play this hole, everybody. That's going to give you a very safe birdie, and hell, you might even drop the hole-in-one. And like I said, I've seen people really screw this hole up big time. I've seen people in the sand. I've seen people in the rough. And that goes for all par 3s in rookie. People are really struggling for some reason. But, I'm going to show you how to get them all down. All right, so let's move on to hole number 3. So hole number 3, there's also going to be a couple different ways you can play it. But this is going to be the conservative path right here. This is going to be a non-aggressive way, and I don't want you to play this hole aggressively. So, and let me tell you why. Let me go back to, where is it at? Sorry. That's 1, 2, okay. So there's a couple things you can do. So take a look at the fairway. It's kind of like a Y shape. You have the left-hand side and the right-hand side. Right now you see me lined up at the right-hand side. You're seeing people go bombs away on the left-hand side. So they're going to go from fairway to fairway, or they're just bouncing, or they're just going over the sand to that fairway. Don't play it from the left-hand side, because if you miss your shot, you can end up in sand or rough. Then you have no chance to get to the green. If you make your shot and you land up on the fairway, you have a lot of distance. Most people think, hey, I need as much distance on a par 5 as possible, which sometimes is true. In this case, it is not. If you go bombs away on the left-hand side, you have to curl your shot to the green. And there is sand by the green, so you don't want to do that. I'm going to give you a straightforward path to the green. So don't go left-hand side. Go right-hand side like me and lay up, but bring your big dog. Your big dog is going to be very important for the second shot, and I'm going to show you guys how to get a guaranteed eagle on this hole. I am not playing this hole for an albatross. I might get lucky and hit it, but very, very safe eagle, and I've seen every single opponent that I've faced so far in the 3 days of qualifying not eagle this hole. They all have birdied it. So here we go. So my yellow ring is on the rough line. You're going to see here, I'm using 2 bars of backspin, 2 bars of right spin, and I'm using a Titan. I'm using a Titan because I do not want the wind resistance. I do want a power 3, but I don't want a Kingmaker that gives me more wind resistance. I want the wind in my favor. Now you'll see here, this is a very safe drive. You know, you really can't mess that drive up. So 20% elevation, 2 back, 2 right. This is going to be shot number 2 with the big dog. We are not going to be using any elevation. And I want you to use 5 bars of topspin. You'll see here I went with 6 bars of topspin. 6 bars of topspin is too much. But it's still not a big deal because this, you know, you'll see here, no problem. Easy chip in from where I land. But 5 bars of topspin will put you on the green and give you a very safe putt to secure the eagle. But you'll see here with the 6 bars of topspin, I just roll past the pin. Not a big deal, obviously. You know, you make this shot. This is as easy as a putt. But, you know, I land on the fringe. But 5 bars of topspin will get you great speed. It'll put you right on the green. No overpower on the second shot. Now, this guy was in trouble, as you can see. Now, if you want to go aggressive, if you're like, oh, man, I want to go aggressive. I just want to go bombs away. That's how I like to play. I'm going to show you why you don't want to do that on this hole. All right? So here we go. So same ball with a Titan, full top spin, couple bars of right spin. And you can see I'm going bombs away. I'm going to go from fairway to fairway. So same elevation, 20%. And then you want to push back up to max. And then from here, you're going to go full overpower. Okay? Full overpower is always dangerous because if you hit a great shot, you know, you can end up in rough, you can end up in sand, whatever the case may be. But here we roll out of it to the fairway, not a big deal. But I want you to notice this right here. You see this big-ass tree in the way? This is why you don't want to go bombs away, because this tree will get in your way, and it's going to make your second shot tricky. Now, I brought a sniper here because I figured if I got distance, I could easily play with the sniper. You always want to play with the sniper over a big dog if you can, but this tree is in the way. So it makes the shot to pin a little bit harder, but not much harder. You can see I have a good ball guideline here to the green. But it just makes trying to find an albatross difficult, which is why I would say, you know, don't go this route. Because if you take my first path where we're laying up and then using a big dog, it's a guaranteed eagle. If you go bombs away and screw up your shot and land up in the rough, you're looking at a birdie. And you don't want to birdie this hole. You know, you don't want to birdie any par 5. So play it conservative. You know, we still got there, no problem this way. But I just don't like it. I'm not comfortable with it because if you screw up the drive, you screw up your whole freaking opportunity to get a gold. And I play for gold. All right, hole number 4. We're going to use a Quasar. I don't normally use a Quasar too much because it's only a wind resistance 1 ball. I typically like to use a Navigator. I couldn't find a really consistent line with a Navigator because I needed side spin. And the side spin on the Navigator only gives you 1 bar. This gives you 2 bars of side spin, which I think is pretty important on this hole. But you can see here, I'm going to go full left spin, and I'm using 3.5 bars of backspin, okay? And I'm putting my ball guideline just to the pin. So I'm lining this up as a normal shot. I'm playing at 10% elevation, max distance of my sniper. Now this is 3.3 mile per hour wind. And that's on the lower end of what you're going to get in rookie, because the rookie should be anywhere from 2.5 to 5 miles an hour. And we get really close. So if you want to know, like, okay, so what do we need to do to get the hole in one? Well, let's take a look real quick, because this will be pretty easy to dial in. But this is my first time using a Quasar, so I will get the hole in one on this hole in the future rounds. It might take me a shot or 2 more, but we will get it. So take a look right here at the ball guideline. The ball guideline is directly into the pin, and it's even a little bit through the pin. All right, so that's perfect. It's dead center. And you'll notice when we take the shot here, there's quite a bit of area from the landing spot to the green. So as soon as my ball touches down, it has quite a bit of distance to go until we actually get to the hole. So we take the shot, we touch down, and then look at all this roll we have and bouncing. All we need to do to dial this in to get a hole in one. So let's say I get 3.3 mile per hour wind again. Well, what am I gonna do? I'm going to do the exact same spin adjustment. I'm just going to put my ball guideline on the left-hand side of the cup. Still in the cup, but the left-hand edge, and then that would have been a hole in one, because that's the way the green slopes. The green is sloping from left to right. That's why we missed right, even with a perfect ball. So now we just have to move our target to the left. So, let's say, for example, maybe I get a 5 mile per hour wind. Well, then what would I need to do? I would need to use the exact same spin adjustment, because we know the spin adjustment at 3.5 back and 2 right is perfect speed to the pin. I would just move my landing zone, my ball guideline, instead of being in the hole, I would move it 1 full green square to the left of the hole. So still lined up with the hole, but just not in the hole, if that makes sense. And that will help us counter effect the way that the green rolls. All right, hole number 5. We need to talk about hole number 5 for a second. You're going to use a berserker. Number 1, if you have a berserker, you need to use it. If you don't have a berserker, then you can go with a Titan, but I'm only playing this hole one way. I'm playing it aggressive. In my opinion, it's a must eagle to win the gold. If you don't have a berserker and you have something else like a Pacific ball or a Rhino ball, I would hate to tell you to use a money ball in a rookie tournament. I mean, I never do it. But man, you can drive green on this hole, and that's a significant advantage on rookie, because we don't normally get too many opportunities where we can do that. But you could take a Titan ball and go bombs away with the exact same play I'm going to give you right here. But with a berserker, we're going to use our extra mile. We're going to go full top spin, full right spin. We will not be using any elevation. In fact, we're not going to be pulling rings at all. We're going to be aiming between the trees with half a ball of overpower and half a ball of right curl. And you'll see that in a second. I'll pause it to show you what I mean. So basically, we want our ball guideline to be going down the middle of this fairway here. So full top, full right, as you see. You see how we're kind of like on the, the left-hand side of the fairway? That's good. That's where we want to be. But we're going to use right curl to make sure we get into the middle of the fairway. So there's your half a ball of curl. And you can see I'm not using a ton of overpower, just a little bit of overpower. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I want my needle speed to be good. I don't want my needle flying on me and make me not hit a perfect ball. That's perfect distance. That's a very, very simple wedge shot. So, you might want to rewind that video and watch that shot again, because, again, that's a significant advantage in a rookie tournament. That gives us a very, very easy eagle on a par 4. The easiest eagle you're going to have in this tournament. Hole number 6, okay? I am using a Kingmaker. You can do this with a katana as well if you don't want to use a Kingmaker. I totally understand. Using a Kingmaker makes your second shot much easier. We don't need distance on the drive. Distance on the drive is no big deal, but we do need distance on the second shot. And I need you to pack your big dog. Very important. Don't forget to bring your big dog. We're going to play this one. Our goal is to get our ball on the right-hand side of the fairway as close to that corner as possible. So look where my opponent is. He's like in the middle left-hand side of the fairway. That's way too far over. You need to be on the right-hand portion of this fairway to make your second shot easier. This is a hole where people are getting birdies on it every time. I haven't had an opponent match my eagle yet. So, we may see a big portion of the field pick up a birdie on this hole, but not us. We're going to eagle it. We are not going for an albatross. I'll make that very clear. We are going for an eagle, and that's it, and we're playing it safe. Here we go. Okay, Kingmaker. Let's go. Yellow ring on the rough-hand side. 2 bars of backspin. Do not let your ball roll into the freaking rough. You're dead if you do. So 2 bars of backspin. And then I want you to go 2 bars of right side spin. You'll see that I use full right spin. I'm taking that off. It's a little bit too dangerous, in my opinion, especially if we're to get hit with higher wind. So I'm backing this off to 2 back, 2 right. 20% elevation. You see, that's a little too close to comfort for me. But no problem. That's exactly where we want to be. Now, shot number 2, again, big dog. And I'm going to show you what we need to do here. I'm putting my yellow ring on the left-hand side. I need you to go full right spin with enough top spin until this is what your ball guideline looks like. You see how my second bounce is on that top fairway up there? You need that to happen. Your second bounce cannot be in the rough. This is exactly what you need your ball guideline to look like. From here, we are pulling at 10% elevation, max distance of our big dog. And we are going max right curl. You do not need overpower. Take a normal shot, but max right curl. Just like this. That's money. That's perfect. Sometimes you'll end up on the green. Sometimes you'll end up right here on the fairway or fringe. But that's exactly how you want to play that hole. So biggest thing, guys, is you can use a katana. A katana is no problem. You need the side spin for the second shot. So katana, Kingmaker are both great. But the Kingmaker does make it easier from a distance perspective than a katana. So, watch that hole a couple times if you're struggling. But I've eagled it every single time. And like I said, it is just chewing opponents up. But, we're not going to let that happen to us. Here we go. Hole number 7. All right, so let's talk about hole number 7 for a second. Because, again, in my opinion, this is a must eagle. There's 2 ways to play it. You can lay up. That is the way I am playing it. You can almost drive green. But if you go for that, you could hit sand. So you could hit that sand up there by the green, or you could get stuck in the rough. And it basically obviously makes your chance to eagle much harder. But if you lay up like I am, the second shot to pin is so easy. And let's check it out. So we are going to be using another Kingmaker, all right? I'm only doing that because I like the wind resistance on the second shot. Use whatever ball you want. You could easily do this with any ball. All right, you could do this with a Navigator for wind resistance 2. You could do this with a Katana for wind resistance 2. It's whatever you're comfortable with. The only thing that I would tell you is, you're going to play at 20% elevation on the drive. If you're not using a Kingmaker, and if you decide to use a Katana, or if you decide to use a Navigator, I do want you to get as much distance as possible on this fairway. So right there, I went with 2 bars of top spin and a couple bars of right spin with no overpower. And you see where I landed there. Now here's that same shot, but this is the shot to pin. And in this situation, I used 2 bars of backspin. And I play this one at mid distance of my thorn. And I'm basically leaving it, about half a green square short of the pin. I'm playing at mid-distance of my club with 10% elevation. That's very important. Don't play at 0% because the first time in qualifying when I played at 0%, I missed it, and barely. So I added 10% to the shot, and I've dropped it every freaking time since then, which is only 2 times, but hey, it works. So 2 times at 10%, and this ball is, boom, it's dead center in the pin. Now, let me show you this. So take a look at where I'm at here. Look at my little icon here at the bottom of the screen. This was my shot today when I actually went to qualify for the round. I decided to use the same ball, but I put 3 bars of top spin instead of 2, and I almost went to the rough. So I'm going to be playing this 2.5 bars of top spin now, just so I can get further up on the shot. But, here's the shot to pin again. Because I got further up, I used more backspin. Instead of 2 bars, I used 3 bars. But I played the same thing. I just played mid-distance of my club. I do drop this shot, but I probably need to change it to 2.5 bars of backspin going forward, because you'll see I got the slow roll into the cup. So still made it, but barely. And there it is, okay? So there you go. 2 eagles, simple eagle, but that's the best way to play it. Now, for you people who are like, F it, man, I just want to go bombs away because that's what I like to do. Well, here you go. So here's a shot with Titan. Full right spin. Let's see what I settled on here. So full top spins. But I only took the shot 1 time just to show people it can be done. Obviously, you're going to want full top spin no matter what you do here. Let's just fast forward this thing. So full top spin, a little bit of overpower, a lot of right curl. And you can roll there. So, I mean, that's that's what that shot looks like. So if you do this, here's the pros and cons. Pros is you're going to take the shot with a wedge. All right, so probably an easier shot to pin. But the cons are if you don't hit this ball right, you're going to get stuck in the rough. Or if you hit it too far, you could go into the sand. I don't recommend playing it this way. Play it my way with a thorn, and it's dropping, man. It's a golden shot. So there we go. Let's go. Hole number 8. Hole number 8, I want you to find absolute minimum distance of your sniper. This green rolls really freaking fast, and I've seen every opponent so far go into the sand. It hasn't happened to me yet, but we're going to be using a Navigator, and I am using half a bar of backspin. That's it. I'm looking for absolute minimum distance of my sniper. And then we're going to adjust this 25% elevation. Again, at absolute minimum distance of our club. And this is going to be another hole where I think we can get the hole in one. So we're going to look at it, and we're going to talk about how we get the hole in one. You'll see pretty freaking close, right? So, you know, half a bar backspin with a Sniper 9 we know is great speed to pin. We're not going to have any fear of coming up short or going long. And from there, all we need to do is just move our landing spot. So what I mean by that, well, let's rewind here real quick. So take a look at where I line up. All right, so 4.5 mile wind, that's pretty strong. So look right here, we're using half a bar backspin, like I said, and I am lining up, come on, basically directly at the pin. So 4.5 mile per hour wind, I'm lining up directly at the pin, and then where we end up at, we end up, call that 1/2 green square to the right of the cup. So what do we need to do to make this a hole in one? Well, it's pretty easy. The next time, if we get 4.5 mile per hour wind, instead of lining up directly at the cup, we just line up on the left-hand edge of the cup. If I would have lined up to the left-hand edge of the cup here, that would have been a hole in one. And I write that kind of crap down. So like right now on my notes, I say 4.5 mile per hour wind, 1/2 backspin, no side spin, aim left-hand side of the cup. That's it. Okay, hole number 9. Again, another par 5. It's eating people alive. This is a really, really good chance for an albatross. So here we go. Full backspin, full left spin. Kingmaker ball, 10% elevation. We're just laying up, all right? We're making this a very simple drive. This is how you need to play it. And I'm going to show you why on the second shot. Half of a ball of left curl. Now, I will tell you, if you guys don't have a good sniper, you need to bring a big dog, okay? If you have a sniper like I do here, a Sniper 9, big advantage because it's going to give you a really, really good line to the pin for an albatross opportunity. I'm playing a shot number 2 here with 10% elevation. And I'm going to be using top spin and right spin to get my ball guideline to the pin. So you see by manipulating the spin here, we're able to get the ball to the pin. And then from here, like I said, 10% elevation. I'm going to pull max distance of my club. Hit a perfect ball, always important. But look how nice of a roll we get here to the pin. So really, really solid chance for an albatross. I'll probably just offset to the right-hand side of the pin moving forward, and that'll help me get closer to there, and I'll just kind of tinker it from there. But anyways, that's your path to dominate this tournament. Please subscribe if you found it helpful, and good luck.